I am currently lost in ancient Rome with no phone and no map, and I somehow have to find my way back to the hotel before it gets dark. But first, how did we get here?
But first, how did we get here?
Well, it was time to go on a vacation, but as I drove from Calgary to Edmonton, Alberta to visit the Silver Balls, I realized that my engine was on fire again, but this time it was really bad. With only a map of Edmonton's top tourist destinations for warmth, I swiftly began freezing to death alone in the Canadian wilderness. And as I drew my final breaths, I saw a hand extend towards me, and the man said, "Vini vidi vici." And I said, "What does that mean?" And before I knew it, one thing led to another, and I was in the heart of ancient Rome. That evening, every couple was holding a rose. While the thought of each Roman's default build including a flower is romantic, unfortunately, it was Valentine's Day. But I was happy to notice as my trip continued that flowers and plants were legitimately an important part of Roman life. They were not confined to beside the bread at Superstore, but on street corners and decorating small shops. And love too, was not confined to beside the bread at Superstore. Rome is the most romantic place I've been. 10 out of 10.
Well, as usual, leave it to Starbucks to fuck up my order. This seems to be a worldwide phenomenon.
Is that yours? That's yours.
All of the beautiful people, the bella people here in Rome are wearing these wonderful fur jackets. So I want to get one for my girlfriend. Bella.
Grazie.
This stuff goes hard. So I got it. It was $150 Canadian for a faux fur coat. That's kind of cute. I don't think that's too bad. Besides, she's my girlfriend. It's got a little brooch, which is cute. Maybe I want this.
Ancient ruins had generated right beside the train station, and they usually have chests, but other people on the server had land claimed, so I was out of luck this time.
Nessuno posa, egli scattato 2 volte. Non mi dica che non è così.
Wow, that's a fast looking train.
Your attention, please.
High quality fabrics.
Being served cookies and napping as I'm whisked across the countryside at 300 kilometers per hour was great and everything, but nothing beats the American romance of arriving a day later, exhausted and stressed out because all I'd been thinking about as I crawled down the highway in my F-150 was how likely the next deer was to send me into a ditch. Solid 5 out of 10. Because this volcano was kind enough to wipe the place out and keep it that way before the Roman Empire fell, Pompeii is the most untouched example of how normal life back then actually was, thousands of years before even NFTs were invented. Now home to mostly cats, this city seemed to primarily serve as a red light district for arriving sailors who had been stuck on boats for months at a time. Marble inlaid into the streets would guide sailors towards their favorite destinations, and if that was too confusing, other indicators carved into the streets would ensure no chance of confusion. Ancient Rome was crazy, man, and it was stinky. Poop everywhere. The tour guide seemed pretty jazzed to be able to study this place in the short window of time we have before the still active volcano buries it all over again. Perhaps in another 2,000 years, after civilization has collapsed and rebuilt itself yet again, archaeologists digging up all this stuff for like the third time will wonder why 21st century folks were so obsessed with drilling little holes in ancient brick to hold metal gates and plexiglass.
Another good cappuccino.
When ancient ruins are everywhere, like literally everywhere, they can barely dig a new metro line without either redefining or destroying history, thousands of years of civilizations have found ways to live amongst them. For example, for a while, apparently only the top 2/3 of the Colosseum emerged from seas of green pastures that obfuscated the crumbled civilization that lay beneath them. People would fantasize that it was once a great tower, several stories high. I get that. I could think that too. And then there were two main reactions. Either they would move in for refuge. The Colosseum made a great spot to set up shops and homes, and at one point it was like a den of thieves. Or people would be absolutely terrified and think it was evil and stay as far away as possible. As Rome once again became a metropolis and people started digging around, so many things were found and then turned into other things. For example, these fountains are made out of ancient Roman bathtubs. And there are many other examples. This several thousand-year-old Roman wall only recently was reappropriated to hold a shelf on which now there is 3D printed garbage.
It's just 3D printed crap and it smells like farts in here.
And they're still not done digging up cool things. Like, after hundreds or even thousands of years of looting and excavation, they're still barely scratching the surface in many places. Like, I thought they were at least like close to done, but apparently they're not. But this is my favorite example of the collision of modernity and antiquity.
Here we are, the Roma Termini McDonald's. Perhaps the only McDonald's in the world which contains ancient Roman ruins. And the best part is that nobody seems to care. The McDonald's is like there, so it's assuredly part of the same wall that extends over here.
Andiamo.
I'm wearing my new sweater and no one can stop me. Today, I'm gonna be throwing a dart. Wherever the dart lands, I have to go there. Once I arrive, I have to find my way back to my hotel with no phone, no map. This might be a little bit difficult because I'm not gonna cheat. I don't have a dart. I don't have anything. I have a corkscrew. Gonna get this in multicam with the other shitty camera I brought. Okay, here we go. Okay, I have a screwdriver. Ah! I did it! And it made a hole! By the way, the hotel is somewhere like here. The hole is right here. Are you free? Okay, good. Do you see this hole in the map? This little hole? Right there where the hole is. This is my last chance to take in all of my surroundings. I'm trying to memorize every street, every building. Grazie, thank you very much. He dropped me off at a guarded entrance. I have no idea where I am. Okay. Musea della Repubblica Romana, okay. Let me see if I can find it on the map, because I have to get to my starting location before I can start. This way. So, the hole in the map is about like 300 meters that way. I think those are all like private estates. We're gonna start here because I'm not about to get trespassed in a foreign country. No going back. There's no going back now. Okay, it's actually starting to rain really bad. Look at this view, you can see the whole city. This is so cool. I know, okay, I need an umbrella. I know that my hotel has a view of that monument. So if I can find a way to that monument, I'm gonna be Gucci. One thing I know is that a river separates me from my hotel. We need to take this in chunks. We need to start by finding the river. Look at this view though. It's absolutely stunning. There's the monument. Say cheese. Say Roma.
Say Roma.
Do you know how to change your white balance? Because it's too blue. I'm from Canada. Alberta.
Oh,
we're from Saskatchewan. You're a Saskatchewan? Okay, that's great.
Nice to see you.
That's awesome. Turns out we're not cooked. We're goated. That's the river. Okay, finding the river was the easy part. Even last... Look, I found one of the many free-flowing drinking fountains in Rome, which just always go and never stop. And here's the best part. Watch this. Trust me, here's the best part. You hold this. Yeah. And then the water comes out. I've been really emotional recently because my video was like about to hit 50K. I can't even conceptualize 50,000 people, but how delicious this cappuccino was truly pushed me over the edge. I found my way back to the river. I'm looking above all of the buildings to hopefully see that monument that I was telling you about when I was up on the hill. I got so excited going around and around this area to find a place for my intro, I completely forgot which street I came from. The only thing going for me was I knew that the hotel was like this way, but now I don't even know that. I came from here, or I came from here. I'm sure I didn't come from here. I don't remember these plants. No frickin' way, guys. I think that's the top of the monument we saw from the hill. I think that's it. It's right here. This thing is huge. It's massive. Look how many tourists they can put on it. I'm gonna follow this street and see if I can find my window. I left the shutters open. That one has a balcony, but that's not it. Do you see those open shutters in the rain? Okay, this is a little bit embarrassing. I thought the code for the hotel door was written on this piece of paper. It's written on my phone. It had a 1 and an 8. No, was it? No way. I am impressed. We made it!
sometime over the next few days, my girlfriend uploads the "Oop, he dead" YouTube video to this channel, I wonder how many people would be sad. Last week, maybe a handful of viewers who always left kind comments would at least pause for a moment before they moved on with their lives. Now, with my last video getting like crazy views, even if just 5% of the viewers who watched my last video cared enough to feel sad for a moment, it would still fill up an average funeral home several times over. Would I then want to dramatically increase this number by taking over most of Europe on a warpath of cultural erasure and mass killing like the Roman emperors did? That would be a no. But suffice it to say that perhaps I understand just a little bit more now the thrill of the feeling of being known and therefore perhaps remembered. Like and subscribe so that even more people will be sad when I die. And I'll see you next Saturday on the next exciting episode of The Emil Show.